Ladies and gentlemen, you've decided to go no contact. You've taken the first step in reclaiming control over your life. But here's the truth. No contact is not enough. It's not just about cutting ties. It's about transforming yourself into the kind of person that radiates strength, confidence, and self-respect. That's what will make her feel it. That's what will leave an impression. No contact is merely a tool, but it's only effective if you're doing something with that time, if you're using it to grow, to develop, and to become better. When you cut someone out of your life, you aren't just trying to create distance. You're also creating an opportunity for yourself to rise above. It's a moment of painful reflection, of realizing that the only person who can heal you is you. Not her, not anyone else, you, and so you must grow, you must evolve. You must shift your focus away from her, away from the relationship, and onto yourself. Take a step back and assess where you've been and where you want to go. Do you want to stay stuck in the past? Do you want to be forever defined by what you've lost? Or do you want to rise from the ashes of this experience and build something better, something stronger? This is where the real change happens. Let her feel your transformation. Let her witness the new version of you, not because you're trying to make her jealous or prove a point, but because you're proving it to yourself. Focus on your goals. Take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Become the best version of yourself so that when the time comes, it's not about making her feel anything. It's about making sure that you, as an individual, are whole, strong, and self-sufficient. And here's the crucial part. She will feel it, not through words, not through any overt gestures, but in the way you carry yourself. The person you've become will emanate a strength she can't ignore. You'll no longer be the person she walked away from. You'll be someone she doesn't recognize, a person who commands respect, a person who knows their worth. Your actions will speak louder than any words could. Let that be the message. No contact is just the beginning. Cutting ties is not enough. It's merely a tool. True transformation comes from focusing on personal growth and self-development during the no-contact period. Growth is the focus. Instead of dwelling on the past or the lost relationship, use this time to improve yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Become the best version of yourself. The goal is not to make her feel anything, but to become a stronger, more self-sufficient individual who is whole and confident. Let your transformation speak for itself. The change you undergo should be visible in your actions, demeanor, and mindset, not in any outward attempt to get attention or validation. Strength and self-respect command respect. The person you evolve into will naturally draw respect from others, including her, as a reflection of your newfound confidence and self-worth. When you decide to go no contact, it's a bold and crucial first step toward taking back control of your life. It's a decision to stop letting the past dictate your emotions and to reclaim your power. But here's the reality. No contact in and of itself is not enough. It's not the end of the journey. It's merely the beginning. Many people believe that simply cutting someone off is the key to healing. They think that by removing someone from their life, they'll automatically feel better, as though a switch has been flipped, and everything will fall into place. But no, that's not how it works. The act of distancing yourself is important, yes, but what you do with that space, what you do with the silence, is what truly matters. No contact is simply a tool, a necessary boundary, but it is far from a guarantee of transformation or closure. The real work comes afterward. No contact forces you to face yourself. It strips away the distractions, the emotional pull of the relationship, the constant thoughts about the other person, and leaves you with just you. In that silence, you're confronted with the truth. You are responsible for your healing. It's not about waiting for the other person to change or come back. It's about stepping up and deciding that you are going to take charge of your own growth. This time alone should be seen as an opportunity, not just a period of absence. It is the perfect moment to reflect on who you were before, who you are now, and who you want to become. Instead of merely pining for the person who's no longer in your life, you need to ask yourself, what do you want out of this experience? What are the lessons to be learned? What will you do with the space left by the relationship? The real opportunity here is not just to get away from someone who may have hurt you, but to get closer to the person you have the potential to be. Too often, people fail to realize that simply removing someone from your life does not automatically lead to growth. In fact, without intentional focus, the absence of that person can become an empty void. That's where the true transformation begins. You must actively fill that void with something meaningful, with new goals, new ambitions, new disciplines. This is where real progress happens, not when you're just avoiding someone, but when you're actively building a better version of yourself, regardless of whether or not they come back into your life. Imagine the situation in reverse. If someone were to cut you out of their life, you wouldn't expect them to suddenly be okay. You wouldn't expect them to heal just by being distant. Healing takes work. It takes introspection. It takes a willingness to evolve. The same is true for you. No contact isn't magic. It won't automatically make the hurt go away or make you feel whole again. It's a moment of space, a moment of separation, but it's up to you to use that space effectively. If you approach this period of no contact with a mindset of stagnation, where you just try to pass the time or wallow in your feelings of loss, you're missing the point. You're not using the space to grow, you're just avoiding the pain, and that's not the same as healing. Healing requires action, it requires intention. It requires you to take this time and make the most of it, to transform yourself into someone who isn't defined by the relationship, who isn't waiting for external validation. Instead, you become someone who is capable of standing on their own 2 feet and thriving, regardless of what anyone else is doing or thinking. Furthermore, the truth is that no contact will make her feel something, but not in the way you may think. The goal is not to make her feel regret or jealousy, but to allow her to witness the changes in you. The best way to show that you're moving forward is by showing it through your actions. Your actions, not your words, will send a powerful message, not just to her, but to yourself as well. The message is simple. You are not dependent on anyone to define your happiness. You are capable of thriving on your own. This transformation, this growth, is what makes the no-contact period truly effective. So, rather than seeing no contact as the end of something, see it as the beginning of something better, the beginning of your journey towards becoming a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Let it be a time of growth, a time of reflection, and ultimately a time of action. Your focus should not just be on the absence of someone, but on the presence of yourself. This is your time to evolve, to find new purpose, and to create the future you want for yourself. The real power comes not in the silence itself, but in what you do with it. When you embark on the journey of no contact, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that simply creating distance will magically solve everything. The truth is, cutting someone out of your life is just the start of the process, and the real transformation occurs when you focus on growth. Growth, however, is not automatic. It is a conscious choice, an active process that requires deliberate effort and self-reflection. Without growth, no contact becomes little more than a temporary pause, and you risk wasting the opportunity to create something truly meaningful from your experience. Growth is about more than just healing from a breakup or loss. It's about evolving as a person, becoming stronger, more self-aware, and more aligned with your true potential. The pain and difficulty you've gone through are not things to avoid, rather, they are lessons. It's up to you whether you learn from them and use them to fuel your personal development, or whether you let them define you. Without actively pursuing growth, you risk being stuck in a cycle of hurt, bitterness, or even self-pity, which only perpetuates the emotional wounds that caused you to go no contact in the first place. One of the most important aspects of growth during this period is to stop focusing on the past or the lost relationship. It's easy to get trapped in memories, in what-if scenarios, or in fantasies of reconciliation. While those thoughts can be tempting, they are ultimately distractions from the work that needs to be done within yourself. The no-contact period should be a time to reclaim your energy, your focus, and your sense of self. Instead of obsessing over what was, shift your attention to what could be. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? These are the questions you should be asking yourself, not whether or not she'll come back. The process of growth involves introspection. It's about understanding why the relationship ended and what lessons you can take away from the experience. This isn't about self, blame, or resentment. It's about taking responsibility for your part in the relationship and using that knowledge to make better choices moving forward. Reflect on the patterns that might have contributed to the relationship's downfall. Were there things you overlooked about yourself? Were there things you ignored in the relationship that, in hindsight, you see as red flags? Use this period of no contact as a time to take an honest look at yourself, to examine your behaviors, your choices, and your mindset. This awareness is the foundation of true growth. Growth also requires a change in mindset. You need to shift your thinking from being reactive to being proactive. When we are constantly focused on someone else's actions or emotions, we give away our power. No contact is the opportunity to take that power back. It's about focusing on your own goals, your own ambitions, and your own well-being. Instead of allowing yourself to be swept up by emotional reactions or feelings of inadequacy, use this time to set clear intentions for what you want to achieve in your life. Whether that's pursuing a new career path, improving your health, learning a new skill, or deepening your spirituality, the key is to use this time wisely. Investing in yourself, whether through physical fitness, learning, or improving your emotional intelligence, is one of the most powerful ways to foster growth during this period. If you've been feeling lost, unmotivated, or unsure of yourself, now is the time to take control. Take small, actionable steps toward becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Every day, take deliberate actions that bring you closer to your goals. Even when the days feel long or difficult, remember that growth is a process. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. As you focus on growth, it's important to cultivate patience. Personal development isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time and it takes effort. However, with every small step forward, you'll start to see changes within yourself. Your confidence will grow, your mindset will shift, and you'll begin to notice positive changes in your daily life. This transformation will make you not just a better version of yourself, but a stronger, more resilient person overall. And the truth is, growth doesn't just benefit you, it will benefit everyone around you as well. Ultimately, growth during the no-contact period is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's about rising above the emotional chaos and creating a life that is truly your own, independent of anyone else's influence. When you focus on growth, you not only heal from the past, but also lay the groundwork for a more fulfilling, purposeful future. The beauty of this journey is that it doesn't matter what happens with the person you've gone no contact with. What matters is that you're using this time to become stronger, more self-sufficient, and more aligned with who you are. And that, in itself, is the most powerful transformation of all. The journey of self-improvement and growth is a deeply personal one, and it requires you to prioritize yourself in a way that perhaps you never have before. When you decide to go no contact, it's crucial to understand that the ultimate goal isn't to get someone back or to make them feel anything specific. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. This period of separation should be seen not as a time of waiting or stagnation, but as an opportunity to evolve into a stronger, more confident, and more self-sufficient individual. The focus must shift away from the past and the relationship, and instead be placed on the future and on building the person you aspire to be. Becoming the best version of yourself doesn't mean trying to be perfect or without flaws. It means fully embracing who you are, recognizing your strengths, and actively working on your weaknesses. It involves self-awareness and a commitment to growth in every area of your life. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or putting on a facade of strength. It's about acknowledging your pain, your struggles, and your imperfections, and deciding to move forward with courage and resolve to improve. The foundation of becoming your best self is built on self-acceptance and a willingness to take responsibility for your own happiness and fulfillment. One of the most important aspects of this transformation is reclaiming your independence. Often in relationships, especially those that are emotionally charged, we tend to lose ourselves in the dynamic. Our identities can become intertwined with the other person, to the point where we forget who we are outside of the relationship. Going no contact creates the perfect opportunity to rediscover yourself, to reconnect with your passions, hobbies, and aspirations. This is the time to remember what makes you unique and to focus on your individual goals. It's not about what anyone else wants from you. It's about what you want for yourself. To truly become the best version of yourself, you must take proactive steps toward your own personal development. This involves dedicating time to things that enrich your life and elevate your sense of self-worth. You might choose to invest in your physical health by working out, eating better, or engaging in activities that increase your energy level. You might decide to pursue intellectual growth by reading, taking courses, or developing new skills that expand your horizons. You might also focus on emotional healing, whether that means seeking therapy, journaling, practicing mindfulness, or simply spending time reflecting on your experiences and how they've shaped you. The more you invest in yourself, the stronger your foundation becomes. But becoming your best self doesn't just happen in isolation. It's also about your relationships with others. As you focus on growth, your interactions with people, friends, family, colleagues, will also change. The confidence and sense of self you build during this period will become evident to others, and this will alter the way they perceive and interact with you. No longer will you be someone who is waiting for validation or approval from others. Instead, you will be someone who is confident in their own worth, and this confidence will naturally draw people to you. You will no longer feel the need to seek out relationships or external validation to feel good about yourself. You'll be grounded in your own self-worth, and that is incredibly attractive. At the same time, becoming the best version of yourself means knowing when to let go of toxic patterns or behaviors that may have been holding you back in the past. Sometimes we fall into patterns of self-doubt, insecurity, or fear that prevent us from being our true selves. These patterns can manifest in different ways, such as self-sabotage, a lack of boundaries, or an over-reliance on external validation. During this time of no contact, you have the chance to break free from those patterns. You have the opportunity to recognize them for what they are, and to consciously choose a different path forward. Let go of the things that no longer serve you, whether they are habits, people, or negative thought patterns. This is your time to reshape your life and your mindset in a way that aligns with the best version of yourself. You also have the chance to work on your emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. However, How you respond to adversity makes all the difference. Instead of being at the mercy of your emotions, becoming the best version of yourself means learning how to navigate life's challenges with strength and grace. It means learning how to manage your emotions, how to respond to stress, how to handle conflict, and how to stay grounded even when things don't go according to plan. Emotional resilience doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them, processing them in a healthy way, and not letting them control your decisions or your life. Ultimately, becoming the best version of yourself is about living with intention. It's about setting clear goals for who you want to become, and then taking deliberate, focused actions to make that vision a reality. It's about making choices that are aligned with your values and your long-term goals, not reacting impulsively to short-term desires or distractions. This journey of transformation requires patience and persistence, but the rewards are immense. When you commit to becoming the best version of yourself, you not only create a better future for yourself, but also become a person who is capable of giving more to others. You become someone who can attract healthier relationships, who can build a life filled with purpose and fulfillment, and who can navigate life's challenges with strength and resilience. The real power of no contact lies not in the silence itself, but in what that silence enables you to do. The absence of communication creates the perfect space for growth and transformation, but that transformation isn't about making someone else feel a certain way, whether it's regret, jealousy, or any other emotion. The real transformation happens within you. It's about showing through your actions, not your words, how far you've come. This is where your power lies. It's not in the hope of getting someone back, but in your ability to rise above the past, improve yourself, and create a life that speaks volumes. During this time of no contact, you are creating an opportunity to focus entirely on yourself, to put energy into your own personal growth and well-being. This shift in focus isn't just important, it's essential. The key to letting her feel your transformation lies in the way you live your life, in how you carry yourself, and in what you become. When you focus on improving yourself, you stop waiting for external validation. You stop seeking approval from others, including the person you've gone no contact with. Your self-worth is no longer tied to anyone else's opinion of you. That is the essence of true confidence, and it radiates in everything you do. When you change your focus to personal growth, you automatically begin to attract the attention and respect of others, not because you're trying to get it, but because you've built a life worthy of admiration. Your actions, how you conduct yourself, how you show up in the world, speak louder than any words could. This is where real power comes into play. By investing in yourself, whether it's through pursuing new goals, improving your health, or embracing new opportunities, you are demonstrating your value to yourself and to the world. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not, or showing off, but about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Through this process, you show that you don't need anyone else to define you or to make you feel important. You've found your own purpose, and that's magnetic. When you start living a life that is true to who you are, your presence becomes undeniable. People begin to notice the changes, even if they're not actively seeking them. You start to become someone who others respect, who others look up to not because of what you have, but because of who you are. The beauty of focusing on your personal growth is that it doesn't require anyone else to acknowledge it. In fact, the less you seek external validation, the more powerful you become. As you change, as you evolve, you may begin to notice that the people around you, whether they're friends, colleagues, or even the person you've gone no contact with, start to feel the impact of your transformation. The changes you make are not just about physical appearance or outward success, but about your energy, your confidence, and the way you carry yourself in the world. People feel that energy. They feel the difference in your demeanor, in your interactions, in the way you hold yourself in the face of challenges. No longer are you the person who relied on someone else's validation. You are becoming someone who stands firm in their own value, who no longer seeks approval from others, but finds it within. When you stop depending on someone else to feel good about yourself, you free yourself from emotional chains. This inner transformation, this shift in mindset, doesn't go unnoticed. Even if the person you've gone no contact with isn't actively observing your progress, they will feel it. People always notice when someone changes in a way that exudes confidence, independence, and self-respect. It's a quiet strength, but it speaks volumes. This is the true essence of the transformation you're going through. In a way, your growth becomes a reflection of your self-respect. As you rise above the circumstances that once defined you, as you embrace your independence, others are forced to acknowledge that change. They may not say anything, but they will feel it. The person who once may have been emotionally available or overly dependent is now someone who stands on their own, whose life is full of purpose, direction, and clarity. The shift is palpable. It's not a matter of waiting for her to recognize your value. It's a matter of creating your own value in the world, and in doing so, showing that you no longer need validation from others. This shift in your energy and self-concept will ripple outward. What's even more powerful is that you're not trying to make anyone feel anything. You're not trying to make her regret her decision or wish she had done things differently. You are not focused on manipulating emotions, but rather on mastering your own emotions and creating a life that is fulfilling and self-sustaining. In this sense, the no-contact period is not about revenge or playing games. It's about proving to yourself that you are whole, independent, and capable of thriving without anyone's influence. It's essential to understand that your actions, how you carry yourself and how you live your life, are far more impactful than any words could be. The person you've become, through your dedication to self-improvement, will communicate more clearly than any conversation ever could. Your transformation speaks for itself, and in that transformation, she will feel it, not through direct confrontation, but through the energy and the strength you exude. That's the power of no contact, and that's the power of focusing on your growth, not as a tool for manipulation, but as a true means of self-empowerment. The process of becoming the best version of yourself, especially during a no-contact period, is not just about seeking personal growth in isolation. It is about creating an authentic sense of self-respect and strength that naturally commands the respect of others. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that external validation is what defines us. But true strength lies in the ability to stand firmly on your own, to carry yourself with confidence regardless of anyone else's opinion. When you transform into the person you've always aspired to be, that transformation commands respect without you having to ask for it or even expect it. The respect that you will earn through this process is a reflection of the growth, resilience, and self-assurance you develop within yourself. When you focus on building your self-respect and internal strength, it starts to affect everything you do, from how you interact with others to how you navigate difficult situations. People can sense this internal strength and self-respect. It manifests in the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, and how you handle challenges. The truth is, respect is not something you can demand or force. It's something that comes naturally when you embody your own values, live with integrity, and stay true to yourself. You can't fake respect, and you can't manipulate others into respecting you. But when you do the inner work, when you rise above the noise and distractions and focus on becoming a better, stronger person, you become a natural force of respect. Part of this process involves setting healthy boundaries and refusing to tolerate behavior that undermines your worth. This might mean letting go of relationships that drain you, refusing to engage in toxic dynamics, or simply asserting your right to live according to your values and standards. In the past, you may have tolerated behavior or accepted treatment that did not align with your self-worth. Now, by committing to becoming the best version of yourself, you recognize your value and no longer allow anyone to diminish it. This shift in mindset creates a ripple effect in your life. The way others treat you reflects the level of respect you show for yourself. When you hold yourself to high standards, others are more likely to treat you with the same level of respect. The more you invest in yourself, whether it's through personal development, physical fitness, intellectual pursuits, or emotional healing, the more you strengthen your sense of self-worth. This growth shows in how you carry yourself in the world. When you have respect for yourself, you naturally begin to command respect from others, because you become someone who others admire, not because of superficial reasons, but because of the substance and depth that you embody. Respect is not about trying to be impressive. It's about being authentic and true to your own path. When you live authentically, you no longer seek validation from external sources. You begin to realize that the most important approval you need is your own, and that in itself is empowering. The transformation that takes place during no contact is a profound one. It's not about making someone feel anything. It's about becoming someone who no longer seeks approval or validation from anyone. It's about becoming whole and independent, about standing on your own feet with confidence, regardless of whether or not anyone else notices or appreciates it. This process of self-discovery and self-reliance makes you the kind of person who naturally attracts respect. It's not something you have to force, but something that flows naturally as a result of your internal growth. When you start to live for yourself, not for others, you create an environment where people around you can either rise to meet your standards or fall away. Either way, the respect you command comes from being true to who you are, not from how others perceive you. As you continue to evolve and grow, your confidence in your own worth deepens. You no longer base your self-esteem on external circumstances or the approval of others. Instead, you become rooted in the belief that you are enough exactly as you are. This confidence is magnetic. People will respect you not because you are trying to force them to, but because they see someone who knows their own worth and who is not afraid to stand in it. It's easy to respect someone who has self-respect because that person exudes an energy of certainty and authenticity. People are drawn to this energy whether they admit it or not, because it is rare and powerful. You also become a model for others when you focus on building your self-respect. When you embody the qualities of strength, confidence, and self-worth, you become a living example of what is possible when someone chooses to invest in their own personal growth. Your actions and attitude inspire others to do the same, and this creates a ripple effect of respect, growth, and empowerment in your circles. When people see you stand up for yourself, pursue your goals, and stay true to your values, they are more likely to do the same in their own lives. In this way, your transformation not only benefits you, but also positively influences those around you. As your internal strength grows, you begin to realize that you no longer need to chase respect from others. The respect you command is a byproduct of the work you've done on yourself. The power of self-respect is that it doesn't depend on external validation or anyone else's perception. It comes from knowing that you are worthy, not because of anything you've done or how others see you, but because you've chosen to honor yourself, to live in alignment with your values, and to pursue your own growth without apology. Ultimately, this kind of respect is the most fulfilling and lasting kind. It's rooted in your own identity and your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. When you have respect for yourself, you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone else. You can simply be yourself, knowing that the respect you deserve will naturally follow. In the end, the journey of no contact isn't about winning someone back or trying to make them feel a certain way. It's about creating the space for your own transformation. It's about choosing to invest in yourself, to rebuild, to grow, and to become someone who no longer depends on external validation, but stands strong in their own worth. When you commit to this path of self-improvement, the respect, strength, and energy you develop will be impossible to ignore. It won't just be a change on the outside, it will be a profound shift within you, and when you become that person, authentic, confident, and self-assured, everyone around you will feel it. Your growth will speak louder than any words ever could, and in that silence you will become exactly who you were always meant to be. Keep growing, keep evolving, and above all, keep believing in your own power. You don't need anyone's validation to know that you are worthy. Your journey is about you, and it will lead you to a place where you no longer need to prove anything. You'll simply live, and others will be drawn to the strength of your character and the depth of your transformation.